Welcome back again here this week. Wow, it was a very, very impressive month, I would say, for the entire grain complex. You look at the Goldman Sachs Commodity Index as well, a broad basket of commodities. You're starting to break a 12.5-year trend there. But, you look at the corn. You look at really the story of the week was how much China was buying. They really bought more than I can ever remember. We had the second largest sale today, nearly 83 million bushels. If you look at the amount of corn sold this week just to China alone, nowhere else, just to China, it was over 230 million bushels here. Now, if we break down the technical pattern, we're looking at the March daily chart. To me, this is a very, very impressive move here. The technicals have done exactly what I thought they would do here. Now, granted, let me bring that back up here. You're in a larger channel range here. You've basically been in this channel here basically since end of October. We really haven't broke out of it on the daily chart. But you look at where we're holding here. Let's bring up the 4 hour. The 4 hour is critical here because you've seen where the support is. So basically the support right now, bring over here so you can see the prices. Basically the support here, and it will be going forward here, this becomes somewhat of a major support here on the 4 hour chart. This around this 530 level. Now, what I think happens here, because I've been talking about this, the need for bulls to close above the 31 or 38% retracement around 541. If you did that, which we did today, you're going to see a bigger push towards these levels right here. So those levels right there are going to be the 50 and 62%. There's going to be a high probability that these things are going to try to test these levels right up here. So call it 556 to 571. This is our target zone where we want to be making further cash sales. Okay? So what's going to happen here this next week? We need to hold this 541 level. If we do this, we confirm the support level. We confirm the breakout. The breakout's going to happen here, folks. Now you just got to confirm the bottom side. You hold the bottom side, this becomes much, much larger support, becomes near-term support. If we do that, I don't think there's a doubt in my mind. You're going to be pushing this maybe 570 level in short order. You're only 20 cents from it right now, essentially. So I think you stay patient, corn, here. You watch what's going on in these export sales here. Could we disappoint? Could some of this stuff be priced in? It could. It definitely could. I'm not blinking an eye here, though, if we get to 570. You got to be selling cash up here. But the trend is higher. It's confirmed by the bullish breakout here today and close above 541. Stay patient. We are moving higher in March corn here. But don't get to the point where you think this thing is going to $6.50 or $7. I don't think that's happening under the March. It may happen under the July here, but stay patient on old crop March contracts. If we switch gears, take a look at the March beans real quick here. 4 hour chart, beautiful setup here in what is called an inverse head and shoulders. I'll show it here. If we look at the pattern here, it's literally played out beautifully, where you have a left shoulder here formation, and then you have a right shoulder that formed this week. Keep in mind, this is a 4 hour chart. You have the head right here. That was that big sell-off last Friday, held support around that $13 mark. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to see it push back towards 1389, this orange level right here, 1389. Now, what's going to be really, really important here is a break and close above 1389. I don't have a doubt in my mind you're probably going to go back up and test this unless something happens over the next week. China gets spooked, China cancels, who knows? It's probably going to be China-led, maybe South American-led, but you're going to get a push there. So what happens if we close above 1389? Well, you're going to have a period here where you, from this head level right here to the breakout point, the difference between this and this, the head and the breakout, is the move that we're going to see. And that move is towards the 100% extension level around 1472. Now, do not rule out initial resistance at 1430, 1440, somewhere in that ballpark. But the bigger move is going to be 1472, potential resistance and nearby around that 1430, 1440. But the trend is higher here. We had that initial pullback this morning, maybe shook the market loose from some weak longs, but we traded back higher. We're going to 1389 here within probably the next couple of days, at least a retest of that. You're less within 20 cents of that as well. So I am favoring beans here as well. I do think the technical structures remain in place in those markets as well. You take a look at December corn here. I'm going to take a look at the daily chart now in December 21 corn. I want to show you the patterns I'm noticing here. So basically, you've had a 43-cent move before a pullback. Okay, I'm looking at 43-cent move. Well, we didn't get a pullback. This does not mean this significant, but maybe this first initial move of 43.25 cents, maybe that's significant. So I'm using that 43.5-cent quarter to confirm the pattern. And what I'm looking at is here a low of around 423.25. That was last week's low. But I'm looking for a 43.5-cent move. Well, look where it is. It lines up pretty darn close to the highs that we had seen recently around that 465. So if we can hold nearby support around this, call it 440, 445 level on the close, which we did today, the push higher towards 460, 465 is in play in the near term. Now, if we run into some weather, this is where things get interesting. So we have 230 million bushels of corn we shipped this week, excuse me. Here is what our exports look like, 2.5 billion. USDA, keep in mind, lowered that last month. Right now, we're on a pace to export nearly 480 million more. Now, do we see those exports come into play here? I think that they very well could. When you start seeing videos come out of China where there's people fighting in grocery stores and you look at the amount of things that China has done, I don't know if I believe that China supplies. And therefore, I do believe that we can meet these projections. And if I look at the ending stocks, we're not trading a 1.5. And I don't think it's out of question why this market at some point, especially if we run into some weather, couldn't be below $1 billion. Here's $1 billion. And that's where I think we might be trading a 1.1, maybe under. Because we're not at 1.5. And if I look at some of the other ones, I want to look at the ending stocks, U.S. versus China versus the world. Here's China stocks. They're saying they got 7.5 billion bushels in ending stocks for 2021. Really? And we're the largest producer of corn by far. And they're saying they hold more than half of the world's reserves in corn, and we only hold 1.5 billion? And we're not 1.5 billion. So China wants 7.5 billion? I don't think China's even close to these figures. The reason I say that is because they would not be buying, going back to the March, let's take a look at the March D spread here. Actually, let's look at the July D spread, and I'll show you exactly why I don't think they have the supply. Here's a day chart of the July D spread in corn. So you're telling me that China has 7.5 billion bushels of ending supplies of corn, and they're buying 230 million bushels at a over 90-cent inverse between July and D's? Come on. You know what? It smells, and it smells really, really fishy to me. They don't have the supplies, folks, or they would not be buying into this type of inverse. So with that being said, I'm going to have some things in the commentary about some recommendations. I still think that we trend higher in these markets, but we still need to reward it as we go forward here. And so keep a close eye on that. Read that. Any type of technical charts that you want me to pull up for you, please let me know. I will attach the China ending stocks, U versus US versus world on there as well. But big month ahead for the bean market here. One thing to mention, the years where beans, let's take a look real quick at those bean markets, because if we take a look at the November beans, the years where we have had below or at 5% ending stocks, we have seen pushes towards 14.50 and higher. So this is new crop. I think that beans right now on new crop have to do work here. That's why I'm 20% sold right here. Okay, but to rule out a larger push to get some acres here in February, do not rule out $12 plus beans here within the next month. Okay, especially if South America continues getting 6 to 7, 10 inches of rain a week, may hinder that crop. So as of right now, let's stay patient with these markets. I'll be in touch with you very, very, very closely if I feel like we need to do anything. If there's new recommendations, follow the technicals. They're leading us higher right now. If they start to weaken, if they start to break, you'll be sure to catch it here first. But have a great weekend. Anything that you need, please reach out to me. Let's do my 402 number, 402-366-0423. You can reach me on the Chicago number as well here, but on the weekends, it's always best to try to reach me on my cell number, and that number is 312-858-3668. Again, that's 312-858-3368, or you can reach me on my cell number at 402-366-0423.